Alright, Switch fans, I am locked in for the Nintendo Switch 2 lineup. I love the Switch 1, but seeing big budget games commit to Switch 2 with real dates and real momentum feels like a turning point. These are the upcoming AAA style releases I cannot stop thinking about, from cinematic adventures to nightmare fuel horror. I'm not calling any of these guaranteed masterpieces, but the hype is real, and I can already picture my backlog crying in the corner. Let's get into my top 10 most exciting upcoming Nintendo Switch 2 AAA games. Capcom doing big survival horror on Switch 2 is exactly the kind of energy I want in 2026. Resident Evil always hits different when it feels like an event, and Requiem has that vibe already. I am expecting that classic mix of panic, puzzles, and why did I open that door regret. If they lean into tense lighting, heavy atmosphere, and brutal pacing, this could be one of those games everyone talks about for months. What really excites me is the idea of a true flagship Resident Evil that is not treated like a side project port. I want a version that feels built to show off Switch 2 tech, while still keeping that signature Capcom smoothness. Day one headphones, lights off, bad decisions only. PRAGMATA has been living in my head for years, and seeing an official Switch 2 date makes it feel real in the best way. Capcom sci-fi tends to bring that slick, high-budget presentation, and this one looks like it wants to mix action with mystery in a big way. I love games that make you ask questions while you play, not just during cutscenes. The vibe feels like lonely space drama meets weird future tech, and I am here for it. Also, I want more AAA games on Switch 2 that are not the usual safe picks, and PRAGMATA feels like a swing. If the combat lands and the world building delivers, this could be a standout spring release that people remember past the launch window. I am definitely watching this one closely. I still remember my first hours in Elden Ring, getting lost, scared, and weirdly happy about it. So the idea of a complete Tarnished edition on Switch 2, with the base game plus Shadow of the Erdtree and extra content, is honestly wild. This is the kind of massive prestige RPG package that feels like a flex for the platform. What gets me most is how Elden Ring has that long tail hype, the kind where people keep discovering new builds and secrets years later. If the performance is solid, I can totally see myself doing a full handheld run, just exploring the lands between on the couch like it is a weekend hobby. It is one of those games where every session turns into a story, and that is why I am excited. I am a sucker for a good adventure game, and Indiana Jones is basically the blueprint for that whole vibe. The Great Circle looks like it is aiming for that blockbuster feel with big set pieces, ancient mysteries, and classic globe-trotting momentum. If they nail the pacing, this could be the perfect Saturday movie game where every hour feels like a new chapter. What I really want is a smart mix. Exploration and puzzles that make you feel clever, plus action that is exciting but not mindless. And on Switch 2, this has the potential to be one of those showcase ports that makes people go, okay, the hardware is serious. I also love that indie games can lean into humor without ruining the tension. If it hits, it is going to be such a fun ride. From Software plus a Switch 2 exclusive with a 2026 release window is instantly a headline moment. This is the kind of announcement that makes people look at the system differently, like, oh, we're doing this now. I do not even need to know every detail yet, because the From Software track record already tells me to prepare for brutal bosses, unforgettable art direction, and that classic feeling of earning every win. The name alone sounds like it is going to be dark, moody, and full of lore you have to dig up yourself. I love that style. If this ends up being a system seller type game, I would not be surprised at all. I am hoping for tight combat, creepy areas, and that special kind of tension where every corner feels dangerous. This is easily one of my most anticipated. Fire Emblem is my comfort strategy series, even when it is emotionally destroying me with permadeath stress. A brand new mainline entry on Switch 2 is a huge deal because Nintendo treats this series like premium first party, and it usually shows. I am excited for the whole package, new characters to get attached to, a fresh world, and that loop of one more battle until it is 2 in the morning. What I really hope for is meaningful tactical depth, not just flashy animations, although I love those too. I want maps that make you think, and a story that gives you real reasons to care care about your army. If Fortune's Weave brings strong writing and fun class building, it could be the strategy game everyone is glued to in 2026. I already know I am going to overthink every single move. A big James Bond game always comes with a certain expectation. Cinematic missions, cool gadgets, and that spy fantasy you cannot really get anywhere else. 007. First Light being officially dated for Switch 2 in late March makes it feel like part of a serious spring lineup, and I love that. What I want from this game is variety. Give me stealth sections where I feel clever, action scenes that feel like a movie, and some social stuff where you talk your way into trouble. Bond games are at their best when they are not just shooters, but full spy adventures. Also, a modern Bond game can be a great show your friends title, the kind you boot up just to see a cool set piece. If they get the tone right, this could be a surprise hit. I am definitely curious to see how it plays on Switch 2.
To contain the situation. In melee combat against multiple assailants, you'll need to think fast. Combining throws, parries, and direct strikes.
Monster Hunter Stories is such a perfect fit for Nintendo hardware because it is colorful, addictive, and easy to sink hours into without noticing. Stories 3, Twisted Reflection being dated for mid-March, makes it feel like a big early-year RPG for Switch 2, and I am excited for that. The appeal for me is collecting monsters, building a team, and getting that just one more egg itch. It is the kind of game where progression feels constant, and the world always has something new to show you. I also love how stories can be more approachable than mainline Monster Hunter, while still giving you deep systems to learn. If the visuals get a big upgrade and the story has some real twists, this could be one of those games that quietly eats up your whole month. I am already planning my party lineup in my head.
Now's our chance!
Mario is always a big deal, and a Switch 2 edition of Wonder with an expansion-style thing like Meetup in Bellabel Park sounds like Nintendo doing what they do best, taking a great game and making it feel new again. Wonder already has that playful, creative energy, and I can easily imagine a Switch 2 version pushing smoother performance, sharper visuals, and maybe some extra surprises. The reason I am excited is simple. Mario platformers are the ultimate feel-good AAA game. You can hand it to anyone, and they will smile, but there is also enough challenge and secrets for people like me who want to clear everything. If Bellabel Park is a chunky new area with fresh wonder effects and clever levels, it could be a perfect late-year release. Autumn is already stacked, and Mario showing up just makes it better. Tomodachi Life coming back feels like Nintendo remembering how powerful weird fun can be. Living the Dream being dated for mid-April makes it a big first-party moment, and I can already see content creators going wild with it. The whole charm of Tomodachi is that it turns your friends, your favorite characters, and your own silly ideas into unpredictable comedy. It is basically a chaos simulator with Nintendo polish. What excites me is how modern sharing and community hype can make this game explode. Even if it is not AAA in the same way as a huge action game, it is absolutely a major release that pulls in a massive audience. I want deeper interactions, more customization, and more surprises that make me laugh out loud. This is the kind of game that becomes part of people's daily routine, and I love that. So yeah, that is my top 10 upcoming Switch 2 AAA games I am seriously excited for. Between Capcom showing up strong, From Software dropping an exclusive, and Nintendo bringing heavy hitters, 2026 is looking stacked. Let me know which one is your number one and which one you think is going to want to be the surprise hit.